Assalamualaikum, greetings. Today is 3rd May 2023. Today I would like to talk about the subject Top 10 Concerns of Penang's Rakyat. As we know, the present state government has been ruling Penang for 3 consecutive terms, almost 15 years now. That's quite a long time. I've come up here, top 10 items which I feel is important concerns of Penang's Rakyat. Number one, low water security in Penang. As we know, water is an important requirement for life and livelihood. But Penang has low water security, mainly because our raw water, we are reliant on a source outside Penang State. The bulk of our raw water, which is needed to process into drinking water, is presently and for many decades has been sourced from Kedah via Sungai Muda. And we know by now how there is quarrel between our state government and Kedah state government regarding this issue. So this is not good for Penang. It affects our water security. Number two in the list is low food security. So like water, food is also important for life and livelihood, to sustain livelihood. If we see the food intake of Penang people, we have the common group carbohydrate, protein, vegetable. So if we see carbohydrate, Penang has a lot of paddy land, so that's good. We are self-sufficient, I would say, when it comes to rice. Then we look at vegetable. Penang has a lot of land actually, a lot of farming land, agricultural land. But I notice we still source a lot of our veggie, even from for local, we source a lot from Cameron Highlands. So which means we need to improve on availability of local vegetables in Penang. Now the next item is on protein. This is important. When it comes to protein, the basic or the common source in Penang among Penang people is meat and eggs. You see, when it comes to eggs, I feel we are self-reliant. We have enough egg farms within Penang. But when it comes to meat, we have an issue here. So the common consumption meat type of Penangites would be pork, beef or buffalo meat, mutton, chicken, and fish. These are our common type of meats. If we look at the pork, okay, pork we are self-sufficient. In fact, Penang exports pork. Yeah? But unfortunately, the pork farms they contribute to pollution of river on the mainland. Yeah? And unfortunately, again, our Penang state government since 15 years now has not been able to address this issue. So that is no good. Okay, next we see is beef, or buffalo meat, and mutton. These meat types, we have not achieved self-sufficient level. We still import a lot, either from other states or also from overseas. If you go to this big chain supermarket, what I see, beef, for example, buffalo meat, beef, or buffalo meat and beef, we get from India, Australia, New Zealand, and even Brazil. So this is not good. It's not difficult to raise cows within Penang. So this is something the government must improve on. It's a concern for rakyat. Same with mutton. Yeah? If you go to any of these big outlets, supermarkets, yeah, when it comes to mutton, not only they are costly, but we import it from first world country like Australia, New Zealand. Yeah, can you imagine? When it's really not difficult to raise goats in Penang. Then when we look at fish, yeah, fish, we do have quite a bit of a resource within Penang. Yeah? If we see, especially in the southwest, Tulakomba area, it's been known for decades, more than 100 years, to be a rich marine life source. Yeah? Prawns, certain type of fish. So this provides us fresh fish, but unfortunately, it's being seriously threatened by this PSR project, reclamation project, which is going to reclaim 4,500 acres of sea at that area. So that is definitely not good for Penang food security. And what we have seen the effect of this reclamation at Tanjung Tokong, Tanjung Bunga. Yeah. So used to be many fishermen there. Today it has reduced, and the catch from there has also reduced drastically. So this is on the food security. A lot more needs to be done, but the present state government for 15 years now has not really achieved much on this subject. So this is a serious concern. Number three is poor bus public transport in Penang. 40 years ago, Penang had a very good bus public transport, reliable, yeah, reasonable fare. Many people use it, and it's good because it helps with the traffic congestion, cost of living, yeah, and access to places. But this Penang present state government, they are not motivated to improve our bus public transport. Penang State claims or is giving free bus public transport. Free doesn't mean it's good, and you can see this in Penang. What the people need is not free bus public transport, but good bus public transport throughout the state. Presently, the only source for bus public transport is Rapid Penang. And Rapid Penang, to my knowledge, has only about 200 buses to serve the whole Penang state. This is too little, definitely not enough to provide a reasonable service, let alone a good service. This is something the state has failed to address in the last 15 years. So free service is not what people want. People want good, reliable, well covered for the whole state bus public transport. So the state has failed in this, as far as I'm concerned. Number four, floods. Floods happening in Penang. If we see since 2008 until now, more floods has been happening. Even though some area is addressed, but other areas, new areas, are facing more flood, or areas where flood is happening more frequent. Flood means it affects those it affects people in terms of damage to their vehicle, to their houses, furniture, electrical items. This is bad. Even once a year, if you are hit with this flood, imagine the amount of damage, the cost involved for repair, replacement. And this present state government, for 15 years now, it has not been able to address these flood problems. So it's a high concern, top 10 concern for Penangites. Then next on the list is traffic congestion. So traffic congestion is bad now in Penang. Again, since 2008, it has become worse actually. Yeah, traffic congestion means loss of productivity of the people of Penang. Being stuck in roads. Yeah, you lose a lot of time, which you can use more productively. And not to say it also affects our environment, the emission from cars, vehicles, which is no good, increases the carbon footprint of the state of per capita Penangites. Number six, no local plan, no local gazetted plan in Penang. Imagine, yeah, Penang is a state which is a city state, meaning we have two local council, MBBP and BSP. Both are city council level, which means that is the highest level. So the whole of Penang is actually considered a state, is a city state. And yet, there is no local plan. And this government, our present government, 3 terms now, uh, has not been able to gazette a local plan for Penang. This does not look good for the Penang state government, for the Penang state, and for Penang people. Without local plan, it means there's little participation of the people, of the stakeholders towards the development of Penang State. So this in itself is definitely no good. is a top concern for Penang people. Next on the list is hill slope destruction. Penang State, especially Penang Island, we have hills which are important ecosystem for our state, for our geography. The hills can help us with water catchment area, our green lung, help with our climate change mitigation. But if the government continue to allow destruction of our hills, whether building high-rise houses, building roads, cutting through the hills, this will definitely affect the future of Penang, our children, our grandchildren. It will impact, increase more flood, reduce the rainfall, affecting again our water security and the environment as well. So this is definitely a concern. Next on the list, number 8 is beach erosion. Penang State, especially Penang Island, one of the key feature is that we have beaches, popular beaches, and Penang people, especially the locals, we go to the beach either weekends or holidays to spend quality time with our friends, our family members, to take a rest. But lately, we see we are losing more and more of our beaches. Gurney Drive no more. Some of the Tanjung Tokong beaches also no more. Yeah, Tanjung Bunga also affected, and most recent, our lovely beach in Batu Fringhi affected terribly, despite the state government trying to repair it, but it remains bad. And this is again related to reclamation activities in Penang. Huge reclamation projects which has caused effect on our beaches. Next on item number 9, unsold properties in Penang. Penang State has among the highest number of unsold properties. This is bad because there are Penang people who wish to have proper residences, either rent from the state or purchase at reasonable cost, for their livelihood. But what we have here, so many expensive residential units remain unsold for many years now. And if we see the government is still allowing more buildings of such type of properties. So that is bad for Penang people because the top priority of a good state government must be for the people, not for foreigners, tourists, or investors. So this is a concern of the Penang people. Number 10 on my list is the high bankruptcy rate in Penang. Despite Penang being a, state with a lot of development, it has received development since 200 years now, since the colonial time. But unfortunately, we have high bankruptcy rate in Penang State. This is not good. It's a concern of Penang people, our children, our grandchildren. At young age, they become bankrupt. It affects the livelihood of our people, Penang people. Here again, if you see the top three contributors of bankruptcy, one of it is due to default on monthly installment for cars. So here again, if the state had actually focused on bus public transport since 2008, many of these bankrupt cases, I believe, would not have happened because they don't need, especially at the early years, to own a car, that they don't become a bankrupt. So these are my top 10 concerns for Penang's rakyat. I believe there are more. I'm limiting them to 10 in this video. So Penang voters, it is up to us who we elect as our state government. We want state government which can actually take care of the state, take care of its people, give priority to the local people, to our state, take care of our state, our environment, yeah, our livelihood. So this is not happening, I'm afraid, since 2008 until now, as I've listed here, so many concerns of Penang's rakyat. So think about this. Uh, we should actually, we deserve a government, a good government, which must address all these concerns. If such a government is not, if our present government is not doing all this, it's up to us to change, bring a new government that must focus on these top concerns of Penangites. Thank you for your time. Sedar Pulau Pinang.